How can you date an Egyptian mummy?
How can you avoid that sinking feeling?
And how do you eat a mango?
How can 6 matchsticks equal 4 triangles?
Fairly easily, one would imagine, Toppy, if you're involved. What do you think?
Absolutely. Mathematics, pure. 6 makes 4. Yes, definitely.
Okay,
Mathematics,
10p bet on it then, please.
10p?
There we
Right,
are.
let's see your attempt, Fred. Come on.
4 triangles.
Yep.
I can offer you 2. How will that do?
No, that's
It's
definitely
4,
not
Freddie.
4. Carol?
This is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, not 4. See, the trick is you're thinking a bit two-dimensionally. If you were to think a little more three-dimensionally.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I can see 3 triangles.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And a little bit of glue, I think, as well.
Yeah, admittedly, but still, 6 matchsticks equals 4 triangles, and 4 triangles equals Mr. G. Jones of Holywell. Another 20p better off. Thank you very much. That's how.
Now, how can you date an Egyptian mummy?
Oh, I've dated a few of them in my time.
I don't mean that sort of dating. What I mean is, how can you tell whether something is fake or the real thing? Well, you can do it by using a technique called carbon dating. And anything that was once living can be carbon dated. So a leather belt, which was once the hide of a living animal, that can be carbon dated. Or a piece of wood, once part of a living tree, that can be carbon dated. Or in fact, even a tea cloth, which was once part of a living cotton plant. You can carbon date that. Why? Well, it's all to do with carbon that's all around us. For instance, carbon dioxide, which is in the air we breathe. Now, all plants take in carbon dioxide, keep the carbon, and give off the oxygen. And then animals and humans come along and eat the plants. Carbon then starts to come through us and passes through this continuous cycle. But something rather special happens to the carbon when it's high up in the atmosphere. Now, if you can imagine that these are ordinary carbon atoms, the cosmic rays from the sun come and zap the carbon atoms and turn some of them into radioactive carbon atoms. But these don't stay radioactive forever. They will eventually turn back into, or decay back into, ordinary carbon atoms. So, if you can imagine that this is a living thing, it's got radioactive and ordinary carbon atoms inside it, and it's constantly taking them in and pushing them out again until it dies. And from that moment on, no more carbon is taken in. But the radioactive atoms continue to turn back or decay into ordinary atoms. And that is the essence of carbon dating.
But excuse me, what about my Egyptian mummy?
Ah, I was just coming to that, Freddie. Meet Quera, very beautiful and very much alive cat. Now, scientists have studied various living things, and so they know how many radioactive carbon atoms to expect in, let's say, a cat, or even a human being, or even a tree. And behind Quera is an Egyptian mummified cat. Now, when this Egyptian cat died, it had more or less the same number of radioactive carbon atoms in it as Quera does now. So, let's go back to how long it takes for radioactive atoms to decay or to turn back into ordinary ones. Well, this is called the half-life. How long will it take for half of these to turn back into ordinary ones? For carbon, it's almost 6,000 years. So, after another 6,000 years, half have decayed or turned back again. Another 6,000 years, half again. Another 6,000 years, half again. And by taking a sample from the mummified Egyptian cat and counting how many radioactive carbon atoms there are in that, scientists have been able to discover that this is in fact 5,000 years old. And so, by using the very latest technology, you are now able to date an Egyptian mummy.
How can you avoid running out of staples? One of the most annoying things known to man, but it happens to all of us. Not surprising. Each of us uses 3,947 squillion staples in our lifetime. So it's not surprising, is it? How can you avoid that happening? Well, there are two ways, really. one, you can carry around a lifetime supply of staples, but it's not convenient because it's very heavy. Okay. Or
Not a good idea, Fred.
you can use one of these. This is the staple-less stapler.
Couldn't possibly work.
Couldn't
I'm sorry.
possibly work.
No.
All right, brain of Britain.
Look, I'll prove it to you. Two pieces
Mathematics
of paper.
teacher to the nation, show us.
One staple, a staple there.
I would have
See?
expected
Couldn't
better
possibly
from you. I would have expected better.
Useless,
What you
Gareth,
do
this
is this: turn over the corner of the sheets of paper that you want to staple together, put them in the stapler, chunk like so, pull it out. Okay, you're watching. Open them up like so. Try and pull them apart, and what happens? They are stapled together.
How does that work then?
How does it work? The stapler, in fact, perforates the sheets of paper, and the paper that is pushed through acts as a lock, holding
Wow.
the paper
Very
together.
clever.
And that's how I avoid running out of staples.
How can you carve a candle? I don't know if you've ever tried to carve a candle, but it's a very, very difficult thing to do. So how come something like this can get turned into something as beautiful as these? And the man who quite capably carved all these candles is Irvin Morrison. Irvin, why can't I carve a candle? What am I doing wrong?
Well, the secret in carving a candle is to give it a bit of heat. That's just red coloured wax. Into the wax and into cold water.
Right, is that
And
wax
allows
hot?
you, it's about 60 degrees. It's not hot enough to burn you.
Why do you dip it in the water?
It allows you to build up several coats of wax.
I see, right. Okay, what's
Now
next?
we've got about 2 minutes
Uh-huh.
to carve this candle before it goes solid.
Oh, I see.
I've put a candle up there for you. Why don't you try and copy that one?
I'll have a go. I see you need specialist tools then.
Yeah, well, a blunt vegetable knife is all you need.
All right then.
And you
Oh,
go.
yes. Oh, that's a lot easier to carve
Oh,
now.
You're carving the layers you've dipped
Uh-huh.
and a little into the candle. I had a 10-second dip at the start that allowed the candle to soften, not quite to the core. And it allows you to carve into the candle.
All right, I think I've got that. Sort of. Art was
Don't
never
make
one of my
too big a
stronger
job.
areas, but I'm not doing too bad, Irving. Okay, I think I've
Oh,
nearly
yeah.
finished all my
Yeah, you
carving
need to
now.
finish it fairly quickly because it's beginning to go hard.
Yeah, it actually gets a lot more
Yeah.
difficult when it cools down, doesn't it?
The bottom,
Yeah. What are you doing that for?
take the dipped waxes off at the bottom and that allows you to put it into a holder.
Is that finished now?
Well, to finish it, we need to dip it into a clear wax,
Okay.
a warm clear wax, which sticks it all together.
That one, yeah?
Yeah, that one. On you go. And into water. And that cools it.
Brilliant. So it's all stuck together with the warm wax and then chilled finally with that water. Beautiful. What do you reckon, Irvin? Have I got a career in candle
Well,
carving?
with a bit of practice, you never know, but I'd stick to the day job.
Irvin, thank you very much
You're welcome.
for showing me how, with a little bit of dexterity and a little bit of heat, that's how you carve a candle.
How difficult is it to open a can of beans?
Well, it's one of the easiest things
One
in the
can of
world.
beans, one can of... Now, or for that matter, how difficult is it to peel a potato?
I can peel a potato,
Give
Carol,
that to
really?
Gareth then, please.
Carol,
Yes.
there's something wrong with this opener
That
you've
couldn't
given me.
possibly be.
This is blunt, Carol. It doesn't work
What,
that
you
way.
can't peel your potato
No, I
like
can't.
All right, Paddy, well, just, if you... No joy with that, just open that pocket
Oh,
for
that's
me, will
more
you,
like
please?
it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. In goes the corkscrew.
Carol, this is broken as well.
Mine's working
Not going-
perfectly well. Just take the old cork out.
Carol, you give me another duff one.
I haven't given you a duff one.
You have, it's not working.
It's not working. I'll give you a clue why it's not working. You right or left-handed?
Right.
Okay, what are you, Gareth?
Well, I'm right-handed.
Right-handed. And I'm right-handed, and what I've given you two are left-handed pieces of equipment.
Is there such a thing?
There is such a thing. Let's consider the can of beans. Okay. Now, this is a right-handed can opener, so I put it on like that. Turn the key with my right hand. You've got a left-handed one, so flip it over.
Right.
Okay.
Put it in.
Hold it with your right hand.
With my right hand.
Yes, and twist it with your left hand, which, if you were left-handed,
Oh, it's working.
would be your strongest hand.
Yeah.
Carol, I've got this
Okay.
working now, but it's very difficult because I'm having to use my wrong hand. It's
Yes,
awkward.
because your left hand is your weakest one. Try the corkscrew and turn it the opposite way. And that now
It's working.
should be okay.
Brilliant.
Yes, but you can see that when you're a right-handed person trying to operate in a left-handed world, that you're under some sort of disadvantage. And that's exactly what happens to left-handed people. Well done, Freddie.
Eureka.
They live in a right-handed world, and so sometimes they look as though they're being clumsy, but actually they're just being given the wrong pieces of equipment. But would you believe that 1 in 10 people are left-handed?
Really?
Yes, and consequently you can buy quite a few left-handed things. How about that pencil sharpener? Things that you wouldn't consider are specially made for left-handed people. Try that with your left hand, turn it the opposite way.
Oh, the opposite way, of course.
Yes. Even a ladle. This is one for a right-handed person, and the lip pours towards me.
And this is a left-handed.
Hold it in your left hand, and the lip will pour towards you as well. And can you believe even a ruler can be difficult for a left-handed person to operate? You start with naught at this end, and you go up in the opposite direction to a right-handed person. So that's how difficult it can be to open a can of beans if you're a left-handed person using right-handed equipment.
How do you eat a mango?
Oh, that's easy, Fred. I learned that one.
That's easy, is
Yes,
it?
give it here. After my successes with a left-handed potato,
All
now, I actually learned how to do this on an
Yes.
island. I was on a very posh holiday
Yes.
in an exotic
Oh, where was
tropical
that?
island. It was Anglesey in North Wales, actually. And the trick is to cut the thing across like that,
Yeah.
all the way
Tell
down
what
to the
to do.
stone.
Yes.
And you actually pull it like a kraken.
Go
It
on
comes
then.
Go on
apart.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Lovely and neat and
It's
tidy.
supposed to work.
Now, look. How do you eat a mango? You think hedgehog.
Hedgehog?
Hedgehog. Let me show you what I mean. Slice off the side of the mango, avoiding the flat stone in the centre. Okay? The side of the mango.
That looks nice.
Then score a nice crisscross pattern in the mango, but being very careful not to go all the way through the skin. So you don't need a particularly sharp knife. Still with me?
Yeah.
Crisscross. A lot of skill.
That doesn't look like a hedgehog at all.
It doesn't look like a hedgehog yet until you turn it gently inside out. Now what does it look like?
Oh, very good.
It looks like...
A hedgehog.
So how do you eat a mango? You think...
Hedgehog.
And that's how.
Hedgehog. How do you avoid that sinking feeling?
Well, how about a nice summer holiday? Spain, Biarritz or Brighton?
That would do, yeah.
All
Spain
gone.
would
Or
be
in the
good.
winter. In the winter you could go skiing to the Cairngorms.
Yes.
Very nice.
Ah, well, you see, Carol, you're wrong, because the Cairngorms, wintertime, is very well known for its snow. Here's a bowl of snow. Now, the problem with humans and snow is we don't get on terribly well. Watch what happens if I take a pair of legs, human legs, symbolised here by a pair of pens,
Yes.
and drop them into the snow. Watch what happens.
They
They
sink.
A distinct sinking feeling. However, if I were to leave one of those pens in its holder and drop it into the snow, watch what happens this time. No sinking feeling whatsoever, because the weight of the pen is distributed over a larger surface area, preventing sinkage.
So you're suggesting we all walk around with pen holders on our feet, are you?
Not exactly. Allow me to demonstrate. You see, in the Arctic, there's more snow than just about anything. So the Inuit people who live there invented the snowshoe, a system which works just like a pen holder, spreading your weight over the large areas of soft snow. And this invention's been so successful that it's barely changed in the 100 of years since it was first thought up, as Carol will now demonstrate with a pair of modern snowshoes. And without
They're
snowshoes,
great, Toffee,
it's
these.
actually impossible to walk on soft snow.
That's
Easy.
nonsense. I've walked for years on soft snow and never had... Hey, help!
Pull it out, Carol. That's how you can avoid that sinking feeling with the aid of a pair of snowshoes. And that's how for now. Time for a quick how. How many mammal species lay eggs?
Mammals don't lay eggs.
No, I know this one. One mammal, the duck-billed platypus.
Well, very good, Freddie.
Actually, Fred, the answer is 6. The platypus, the 2 types of short-beaked echidna, and the 3 types of long-beaked echidna.
What's an echidna look like?
Oh, you haven't been mistaken the kidney pies.
Rubbish.